exactly a year ago today, I was sitting with a group of friends that I hung out with. We did everything with. We traveled together, there's about 20 of us, and we feel like we had life figured out. We're, planning our next big adventure, and I sat there and I'm like, is this life? Is this a lot that's been given me? And it dawned on me that I was confusing comfortableness with happiness. Always had friends by my side. I had a really good job. I had everything that I ever wanted, but I wasn't truly happy. So that night, I remember going home and talked to my Heavenly Father and discussed with Him how I can become happy. And the answer was, you got to become uncomfortable. The next morning, I put my house up for sale. I decided that I was going to start looking for a new job. I was going to throw a wrench in a perfect life. I spent last fall, just smashing my head against a wall, trying to find happiness. I was frustrated because I felt like if I sold my home and disrupted my life, I would find that happiness.
I was talking with Melissa, and she had been expressing some feelings and frustration to me about life and school and dating and a number of things. And I just remember telling her that it's all going to work out, that not only is it going to work out, but it's going to work out so beautifully that looking back, you would know that you couldn't have orchestrated it any better and that you wouldn't have chosen to do it any other way.
That Christmas, John and Danielle welcomed me into their home. We were on a car drive, and there's a song that came on the radio. And I asked you guys what that song was. And the reason why I asked you what that song was, because at that moment, I got the confirmation that I wouldn't have to wait much longer. So it wasn't too long after that I met Melissa, less than 30 days after Christmas.
When I got home from our first date, I asked my roommate, Maddie, to rate me on a scale of 1 to 10 on my level of talkativeness in any average situation. I think it was maybe a 7, which might surprise some of you, but I'm pretty talkative. But my response was that you were about a 9.5 on that first date. I could barely get a word in edgewise. Something felt different when I got home from that first date, and it kept me questioning and thinking about it until I saw you again. On our second date, I explained that I did not believe in soulmates, but that I believed there were people we were best suited for and more compatible with than others. I generally feel as though I can articulate myself pretty well in most situations, but I felt clumsy as I explained that to Jake that night and tried to articulate it. I already felt a little bit differently about you, almost as though you were challenging that belief. Within a few days, I randomly stumbled upon a quote online, and the quote reads, "I didn't fall in love with you. I walked into love with you with my eyes wide open, choosing to take every step along the way. I do believe in fate and destiny, but I also believe we are only fated to do the things we'd choose anyway. And I'd choose you in 100 lifetimes, in 100 worlds, in any version of reality. I'd find you and I'd choose you."
I remember one of the first few times Melissa called to tell me about Jake. I was sitting in bed with my husband, and I turned to look at him and I just said, I think this is the one. I think this is who she's going to marry.
The last 6 years of my life, everyone has told me I was too picky, that I would never find the dream girl. I'm here to tell you that I did find that dream girl. And not only did she check all the boxes, but she's more than I can ever dream for. Sometimes we like to think that happiness is fleeting, that it's something that we chase but never gained. About 5.5 months ago, as we were driving home from a jazz game, I looked over at Melissa and finally knew that wasn't true. I had found happiness.